butter. Why do restaurants do that? Why do they serve you warm bread and cold butter? They're trying to impress you with the warm bread, but they don't actually care about you. Because if they did, they would serve you softened, room temperature butter that glides over your warm bread. They think they get points for the bread, but they don't. They actually get negative points for making me massacre my warm bread with their cold butter. I hate that. But I hate a lot of things. In fact, I've developed a bit of a reputation for it, for hating things loudly. I hate when women at the beauty parlor make it their business to make you feel ugly. I hate phone upgrades that aren't, or journalists who don't know how to use a comma, or architects who build ugly buildings in the middle of beautiful cities. I, like so many of us, have a lot of hate to give. And sometimes it gets lost in the din that we're so accustomed to hearing. It becomes noise pollution, so we just tune it out. But there is a kind of hate that is worth listening to. You see, hate is fueled by anger. And when it's fueled by righteous anger, it becomes an elevated kind of hate. Righteous, defined as acting in accord with the moral or divine law, in harmony with the moral and divine law. So when hate is fueled by righteous anger, it in its essence becomes elite. No longer a hate that's just an end unto itself, but rather part of a formula. And it's a formula for change. Now, when I feel this kind of hate, and I'm talking the morally justifiable hate, I don't stuff it into a box and put it neatly away. I don't whitewash it with cockeyed optimism or other tired platitudes, nor do I use it to spit on people and to undermine someone else's spirit. No. When I feel this kind of hate, I let it steep deep within me like an artfully and expertly blended bag of tea. I let it sit in the boiling waters of my soul and allow it to flavor everything I am. And then I pray. I pray for wisdom that I might see the love in my hate. Because see, hate always shows you what you love. It always shows you what you're willing to fight for. So I pray for the wisdom to see the love in my hate. I pray for prudence that I might use my hate effectively. I pray for temperance that I might have the courage to rush forward with that hate, or the wherewithal to stand down. I pray so that my hate becomes something beautiful, that it contributes to something beautiful. Some years ago, I met a man named Noe. Noe was young and handsome and honest and kind. He worked in construction, so he was incredibly strong, but his gentility ran deep and wide. He was such a lovable soul that my family quickly, adopted him. We always loved having him around. He made us laugh, and he reminded us to dance, and he taught us to appreciate the simple things, like fishing at a lake or a sunset or a good meal. The simple things. Noe was also an undocumented Mexican immigrant. He came to this country when he was 12 years old because there was too much violence and too little food for him to survive at home. So they cut out the cushions of the front seat of a truck, and this 12-year-old little boy crawled in. And he spent hours, maybe days, while he and a group of men crossed the border. They would let him out periodically to throw up, and then he would get back in. Noe spent every day of his adolescent and adult life in manual labor. He sent money back home to his mother and his siblings, keeping only enough to pay the rent and to eat. Noe was a deeply good man, and we always lived in fear for him. The immigration process in this country is complicated. And above all, it is scary. And whenever someone wanted to stick it to us, they would threaten to call in and have him deported. Today, Noé lives in a detention center in the greater Orlando area. He is there indefinitely without representation, and he is allowed no sunlight. I hate what the world has done to this man. But it is not the noisy kind of hate. It is that righteous, angry hate guided by wisdom. My encounter with Noé is what drives me to vote, to visit prisons, to learn the names of the nightly cleaning crew in my building, and to ask about their families. It drives what I teach my children and my students about justice, equality, and the sanctity of life. It influences my financial decisions, particularly the charitable ones, because you've got to put your money where your mouth is. It determines what I fight for on social media. It has changed the way that I see manual labor, and it has given me a profound respect for men who work to support their families. This is a story about immigration, but it is about so much more. It is your story. Every single one of us stands witness to something that is in disaccord with the moral and divine law. Mental health issues, modern day slavery, abuse of our environment, of our food, animal cruelty, the protection of the unborn, women's rights, gun violence, gender equality, the list goes on. We are in a battle in this country. We are fighting to stake claim over what it means to be human, to be protected, and to be free. And we must be smart about how we fight. We must be elite about how we hate. Without encounter, we fight a fight that we do not understand. Without wisdom, we fight without focus and ultimately without fruit. And without hate, we don't fight at all. The fire of hate is also the light of hope. We can do something about it. Hate plus wisdom plus encounter, that equals change. Thank you.